our planet.
You get folks at a wedding who become interested in what you're doing. They might take that home and adopt that into their normal lifestyle.
From Columbia College Chicago for OSTN, I'm Allison Wright.
The University of Colorado Boulder runs the College Inn. It's a dorm of sorts. But the students who live there are getting more than just a roommate. Sarah Rhodes tells us how some CU students are also sharing their home with something that could be dangerous to their health.
Heather Ray is a freshman here at CU. She lives in the College Inn just north of campus. The College Inn houses more than 200 undergraduates. Before moving in this fall, Heather received an email letting her know that her future home contained asbestos. Asbestos is a mineral that was used extensively in building materials until 1988, including in 1976 when the College Inn was built. The problem is, asbestos is potentially dangerous to human health when it is physically disturbed and becomes airborne.
We had basically just been told that there was asbestos in the walls and in the ceiling, and that we had to be really careful with what we did. We weren't allowed to hang anything on the walls with tacks or with nails.
This is because puncturing the walls could cause the asbestos to become airborne. Students in the College Inn were also cautioned to be careful about disturbing the ceiling. This is especially difficult in the bathroom, because as you can see, I'm about 5'7", and I can almost touch the ceiling. The ceiling in Heather's bathroom is much lower than in the rest of her room, and many of the tiles are already cracked and out of place. The university cautions that the asbestos in College Inn is not harmful unless disturbed, but in an older building where the paint is flaking and the ceiling tiles are cracked, it's hard to know if the asbestos has been disturbed or if the room is just experiencing normal wear and tear. Derek Watson from CU Environmental Health and Safety told us how to tell if the asbestos has been disturbed.
It turns into a chalk, and oftentimes it's a white-looking chalk, and that's when we know it's been disturbed. Or if a tile on the floor has been, sometimes you see tiles that are missing or cracked. That's when we know it's been disturbed.
Airborne asbestos has been known to cause scarring of the lung and lung cancer. For Heather, that's a serious concern.
I want to be healthy, and I don't want to have any health concerns, and I'm paying a lot of money to live here, so I want the school to be aware of that.
There are over 300 buildings on the CU campus, a majority of which contain asbestos. Derek Watson told us that the asbestos in other campus buildings is often contained to mechanical rooms or areas that are restricted from student access. The university does have an asbestos mitigation policy, but it is focused entirely on renovation.
To remove the asbestos is quite cost prohibitive, and so we couldn't do it all at one time. And so we have to develop a phasing plan to get rid of it. And so if there is a renovation of a building, we always do testing for asbestos, and if it's found in the building as a part of the project, it has to be removed.
5 years ago, the university had planned to demolish the College Inn. Plans have since changed as increasing enrollment and renovation of other residence halls has led to a shortage of on-campus housing. The university has no current plans to renovate the College Inn and does plan to continue using it for student housing. The students who live there now do have the opportunity to move as rooms in other residence halls become available. As for Heather, she plans to do her best to follow the university's recommendations so that she can continue to live in the College Inn for the rest of her freshman year. This is Sarah Rhodes from the University of Colorado Boulder for OSTN News.
Now it's time for the Campus Countdown.
Here's a look at what's going on around the country.
It's nowhere near Halloween, but investors got quite a spook earlier this week when the Dow Jones took a more than 400-point dip in early trading. The market closed down only 126 points, but the Fed had to step in and take a drastic cut to interest rates to reverse the plunging stock prices. Congress is planning measures to stimulate the economy by introducing legislation that would cut taxes by $145 billion. This could lead to some extra dollars making their way into your pockets on your next check.
Who's the best college quarterback? It might be Boston College's Matt Ryan, this year's winner of the Manning Award. Ryan completed nearly 60% of his passes this season for a total of 31 touchdowns. He led the Eagles to an 11-3 record. The Sugar Bowl created the Manning Award to honor the accomplishments of Archie, Peyton, and Eli Manning. It's the only quarterback award that considers a player's bowl performance. Ryan is the fourth winner of the award, following USC's Matt Leinart, Vince Young of Texas, and Louisiana State's Jamarcus Russell.
Investigators are still looking for 19-year-old Santa Barbara City College student Breonna Dennison. Authorities believe Dennison was kidnapped from a friend's Reno home last weekend. Dennison was last seen around 4 a.m. after a night of partying. She was sleeping on a couch near an unlocked glass door using a teddy bear as an extra pillow. But when the friend awoke later on that morning, Dennison and the teddy bear were gone. But her purse, cell phone, clothes, including 2 pairs of shoes, were undisturbed. Dennison was back in her hometown of Reno, Nevada for winter break. Investigators want to talk to a man who dropped off a friend of Dennison's at the home that night.
Paintball players are causing some sort of havoc in Fort Missoula, Montana. Officials at the University of Montana worry that the paintballers are damaging a wetlands area that the school uses for wildlife and plant research. The Slevins Island area is a peninsula that includes about 100 wooded acres along the Bitterroot River. While hiking, birdwatching, and other quiet recreation is allowed in the area, since last summer, paintballers have disrupted birds, spattered trees with paint, and left behind litter. The university plans to post signs and increase patrols of the area.
Flipping burgers late night at the local diner causing you some stress? Turns out it could be more lethal than you think. A new study from University College London shows that stress-induced biological changes may play a more direct role in raising the risk of heart disease. The study involved more than 10,000 British civil servants, and it's the first large-scale population study looking at the effects of stress from everyday working life on heart disease. The link was strongest among people under the age of 50. Researchers say behavior and biological changes likely explain why stress at work causes heart disease, because stressed workers are more likely to eat unhealthy food, smoke, drink, and skip exercise, all behaviors linked to heart disease. Coming up, a different way to stay in shape.
And an inside look at this year's Oscar nods. Stick around.
Welcome back. It's time for some arts and entertainment.
Here to fill us in is Rachel Porter over at A.J. Rocco's Cafe in downtown Cleveland.
Hey everybody. It's the most prestigious award that any film can receive and what every film student yearns for. It's the Oscars. USC's Allie Weitzman was in Beverly Hills to hear the 80th Annual Academy Awards nominations. She's here to fill us in on who made the Oscar shortlist and who got snubbed.
Hi everyone, I'm Allie Wiseman, and it is the crack of dawn here in Beverly Hills, California, at the 80th Annual Academy Award nominations, where films like There Will Be Blood and Juno are sure to take home Oscar gold. In the wake of the writers' strike that has immobilized Hollywood and recent awards shows, everyone was awake and ready at 5 a.m. to hear this year's nominees for the 80th Annual Academy Awards.
And finally, I'm pleased to announce that the films selected as the Best Picture nominees for 2007 are...
In the category of Best Picture, it is between dramas Michael Clayton, No Country for Old Men, Atonement, and There Will Be Blood, as well as the dark comedy and fan favorite, Juno.
Have this baby and give it to someone that totally needs it. You should look at the Penny Saver. They have ads for parents. Yeah, desperately seeking spot.
The big surprise of the morning came in the Best Actor category, where alongside George Clooney and Daniel Day-Lewis for their roles in Michael Clayton and There Will Be Blood,